everybody. We're back in this room again, which seems to be a big thing this month, so it's okay. Um, I've been house sitting all day, all week. Everything. Oh, hi. By the way, my name is Jonathan Moody, and I'm the Blu-ray Hunter. This is the Blu-ray Hunter. I don't know. I just started talking. Who knows what the hell I'm gonna say? Um, I'm doing an interesting show right now. I had no plans to do this, and then I'm copying a little bit of somebody else who probably copied from somebody else, but I've decided to go through my criterions, and I have a criterion collection video, but July rolls around. I am doing haul videos and I'm doing all these other things. So it's fun. You'll see this a lot. You'll probably see a lot of the same movies over and over again. But I figured I would share sort of two different videos. I'm going to do two different videos. Part one will be the movies that I have seen that I own on Criterion, and the other one will be like the ones I have not seen that I'm planning to watch by the end of the year. My plan is to watch all my Criterions by the end of the year. So I'm gonna try to catch up by November, and then when I get the November ones, have them done by December. And actually, weirdly enough, I'm doing okay. These are the ones I've seen, and so by far they're probably the most stuff. Uh, there is one I did not bring over here that I will explain that I have seen it because it's a box set and I've seen a bunch, but I haven't seen all of them. So where's my other box set? Am I missing? I don't think I'm missing anything. Oh, and that other box set has two movies. And so like there's a couple box sets that have movies that I have not seen. So I will talk about the ones I have seen and then talk about the ones I haven't seen. On that other video. You'll understand once the next video rolls around. So first up, here are a bunch of the ones I got this year, this month I've already watched and or have already seen before. And so some of these actually haven't even been put on the next haul, so you'll see them again on the next haul video. But let's start it off because I have a lot. Going up there is Watership Down. Watch this for Criterion Watch. So I'm gonna put them down beside me, I guess. Maybe I can try to put them on here. See how that works. So yeah, I watched Watership Down on the first season of Criterion Watch and thought it was pretty good. Breaker Morant, also first season of Criterion Watch, and I really liked it. This will eventually go on Criterion Watch this year, maybe. We'll see. Failsafe. I just watched this recently and thought it was amazing. If you haven't seen this movie, please check it out. So next on my list is Friends of Eddie Coyle, which I literally just watched and loved. I don't think that's gonna work. Defending Your Life, which I had seen before, but not on Criterion, and then I watched it on Criterion, and it's amazing. Still a great movie. It's very funny. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. It's really funny. This one I just gave like 4.5 stars to because I really, really loved it. And let me see if I can bring it over here because I don't like that. I just don't like the handle right here. All right. Chilly Scenes of Winter. If you haven't seen this movie, it's sort of new in the Criterion, but it's freaking good. John Hurd from Home Alone. He's the father in Home Alone. He's the main guy in this. And I don't think other than like Big and a few other movies, I normally Sharknado. Sorry, John, that was one of your last movies. Other than like some of those, I hadn't really seen him in like a more serious drama. It was like a dramedy, and he did such a good job in this. There was one particular line in that movie that A would not be able to be done today, and get away with, and B really made me feel uncomfortable, which was the point, I think. I hope, because it really made me feel uncomfortable. If you've seen the movie, you know I don't want to spoil anything, but it's a really good movie if you haven't seen it yet. And I do plan to put that on Criterion Watch some point. Lady Snowblood also was on Criterion. I just watched this yesterday, I think it was. And I absolutely loved it. It's freaking gruesome and it was very Kill Bill got its inspiration from this, and they even have like the song from Lady Snowblood. Almost said Lady Killblood, which also could be a cool name for a movie. Um, but yeah, Lady Snowblood, and yeah, it was a freaking amazing. You can definitely tell it's a Tarantino kind of favorite, and got his style for Kill Bill from this movie. I'm surprised like the lead actress wasn't in Kill Bill or something unless he tried. Um, so by the way, Criterion Watch is a show I do on Indie Film Cafe. This is Blu-ray Hunter, but Indie Film Cafe is another channel that my main normal channel, and it's my network. And Criterion Watch is on the network, and we do videos, and we're gonna start doing them again in August and in September and all the way to the end of the year. So get ready because it's on its third season, and we're having a lot of fun with it. Um, Another movie that will eventually go on there is Paris, Texas. I really liked it. There were, I think, there were scenes that sort of went over long, like just felt like they just kept going. And I don't know if that's Finn Vender's style or something, but it just felt like they could have trimmed a lot, at least in the script wise. I feel like my biggest problem is I'm a writer, so I look at things as like, do do we need all of that or can we condense it? And sort of get everything we need to get across in a shorter amount of time. And I feel like there were some scenes that just kind of went a little too long, especially with the dialogue that just went. There's one particular scene where I'm just like, oh my God, this has been going on for like 30 minutes, like, 1/4 of the movie or whatever, and it's like taking way too much time, just like get to the point. And I think if you've seen the movie, you know where I'm talking about. But other than that, like it was a really great movie. It had some amazing shots in it. The lead actors, everybody were just so phenomenal. It's a great movie. Here Comes Mr. Jordan, another movie I just watched recently and just absolutely fell in love with. Great movie. Blood Simple. We did this for Criterion Watch, and I absolutely love it. Virgin Suicides will definitely be a Criterion Watch at some point. Me, Paul, and I both love this movie, so one of us will probably pick it at some point. The Fisher King, another movie that'll go on Criterion Watch because it's so freaking brilliant. You haven't seen this movie. I know this is the Blu-ray, not the 4K, and I do plan on getting the 4K probably this year. Probably in the November sale, just because I was trying to get all the 4Ks that I needed to get that I don't already own. So there you go. Fisher King. Notorious, a great Alfred Hitchcock film. If you haven't seen it, it's fantastic. Barry Lyndon, I love this movie. Once again, really long, but in this case, it wasn't because of the pacing of the script. I think it's just the movie was an epic, and it needed that. The Band of Outsiders, also Quentin Tarantino. So Tarantino has had a company called Band Apart, and Band Apart was what this was called in like France, I think. So but yeah, it's a great movie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna say that for most movies in this collection, there might be getting to one that's not my favorite. But these are all pretty damn good movies overall. So here's a movie I just could not get into. I'm gonna keep it because I want to have every movie in the Criterion collection. This is number 720, so I have to keep it. So it's The Big Chill. I was so excited for this because I thought it was gonna be a lot more comedic than it was. And no, it was very dramatic and not my style. And so By the way, I was talking to somebody who's a little older than me, just a little bit older, and he was telling me that like this movie is a movie that sort of was for a certain generation. So me being the generation I am, probably wouldn't get into it as much. So I get it. I get it. It wasn't for me necessarily, but I'm gonna give it another try at some point and maybe see if like something like clicks. Sometimes I need that and sometimes I don't. So this was we'll see what I think. So next is The Blob. Great, great, great movie. Horror film, sort of just, crazy. Fun. They have Blob Night or Blob Weekend or something, and they do this blob stuff, Blob Fest. And they actually have people run out of the theater just like in the movie and stuff. That's so cool. And that's at the theater that they actually do run out of. So it's like such a like treat, for people. And it's held like every year in Pennsylvania. So next is Day for Night, a Francis Truffaut film. I'm gonna try to get more Francis Truffaut films in my collection. That might be one of the only ones I have um, right now. The Lady Vanishes, Alfred Hitchcock. Um, it's not my favorite of Alfred Hitchcock, honestly. It's okay. It's got some really good moments to it, but all in all, kind of puts me to sleep a little bit. So it's not my favorite, but it's one that's definitely up there. I can see why it's on the Criterion. And there's also another movie, another feature featuring two of the guys that's in the movie, two of the characters. They come back into another movie. It has nothing to do with The Lady Vanishes. It was very weird to hear that. But I haven't watched that one. I just watched The Lady Vanishes, and I think it's okay. Those guys are actually two of my favorite characters, so I can see why if all of them would get a spinoff, those two would. Next is The Lodger, another Alfred Hitchcock film. And, it's his first film, so I always give people credit where credit's due for first films, I thought it was really good. It was very Hitchcocky, but was not, once again, not my favorite. We did it for Hooked on Hitchcock, another podcast I do. Speaking of Hitchcock, again, 39 Steps. All right. Gonna have a lot of Hitchcock in this thing. 39 Steps is a lot better than those two other ones, I think. 39 Steps is amazing. If you haven't seen it, you need to see it. Not Hitchcock, but is in the pile of a couple of more Hitchcocks. Slacker, Richard Linklater's movie. I remember this. We used to have it on like Betamax, and I would pop it in every now and then, but I wouldn't watch it like really. I'd just see like in the beginning of the movie there was like some guy on a train. It was turns out to be Richard Linklater on the train. So it's kind of cool. You gotta watch the movies. It's pretty damn good. All right, next is Rebecca, another classic Hitchcock, and the only one, nope, second Criterion one we did for Hitchcock, or the first, but it's the first of two. So there'll be another one I'll talk about in a second. But for Criteria Watch, we did Rebecca, and oof, that movie is just spooky and fun and I don't know, witty. There's a lot of stuff to it. But it's got a lot of suspense and it makes you feel like it's a ghost story, but it's really not a ghost story. You have to watch the movie to understand what I just said. Next is The Man Who Knew Too Much, a movie we are going to do either this year or next year for probably next year for Hooked on Hitchcock. Just haven't gotten around to it yet. Hooked on Hitchcock took a break because G. Larry Butler, my co-host, got really, really busy with life. So it's great. Next is The Midnight Cowboy, which was pretty good. It's got that famous scene where Dustin Hoffman's walking out and somebody almost hits him with the car, and he's like, "I'm walking, yeah," and he just keeps walking, and it kind of he kind of breaks character, I think, but then just keeps going like as if his character, and he left it in the movie, and it's like it literally the dude almost ran him over, and he made that line, and it was he just played it off. If you watch the movie, you wouldn't even know. Like if you did not hear me just say that, you wouldn't have a clue. It's awesome. Next is Fast Times at Ridgemount High. Classic. Amy Heckerling movie. A Lady May Clueless. Which I think honestly I'm gonna get a lot of shade for this, but I think Clueless is a better movie. It's my generation, man. I grew up on Clueless, so sort of love it. The foreign correspondent, Alfred Hitchcock's Foreign Correspondent. Ugh, that was the second one we did for Criterion Watch, and I did that with Joe Turk, and man, we had such a fun time. We watched it separately and then did it through Zoom and when I was in LA. And oh man, it's just a great movie. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend seeing Foreign Correspondent. I think it's on Max. If you try to look it up on Max, I think it's there. Next is Heaven's Gate, a movie, Michael Cimino's Heaven's Gate, a movie that I mean, got a lot of flack back in the day, because they went over budget and it didn't do very well in the box office, and I mean, it was over long and sort of. Problem is like, even nowadays, like it would get worse, but back then, like I think word of mouth already got out that it was having issues and having problems, so that most people knew and they were a little worried about even going to go see it. So, next is Stanley Kubrick's The Killing, which has a movie I haven't seen on it, which is The Killer's Kiss, which I do plan to watch. I know Killer's Kiss is on 4K and The Killing is on 4K at Kino Lorber. So I may pick those up, and they're just separate. Those aren't like 4K together, which is a little weird, but I guess that's what Kino's trying to do with a lot of Kubrick stuff. Kubrick, or was it Kino Lorber and Criterion kind of fight each other for titles sometimes. I see. Like sometimes there'll be a movie that Kino Lorber will get that'll be a 4K, like in the heat of the night, and they can't put it on Blu-ray because Criterion has it on Blu-ray. So they put out the two other movies and stuff. They make up for it. So either way, I mean, I say get them. I know they're competing, they're competitors and stuff, but I mean, isn't that the whole point of collecting, is just finding different companies that we love and like, give into all of them, basically. Thief. I don't want to be a thief. I'll take them all. Rest in peace, James Caan. I miss him already. His son is doing really well, and I hope to see more stuff with his son. Really, push stuff. But always remember him in like movies like the Varsity Blues, where he's sort of just goofy and silly. And I'm hoping he does more stuff where he's like more serious and takes over like sort of what his father was. Maybe he doesn't want to be in his father's footsteps, but sort of maybe he could follow in his father's footsteps. Anyway, next is Blowout, which I don't have the 4K for. This is the Blu-ray, but I can't wait to have that on 4K because I bet that'll look amazing. All right, next is Brazil, and if you've seen one of my clips where I was talking about different movies or whatever, I did another Criterion haul video, or not haul, but like a collection video, and I did it when I was in LA with my former roommate and her dog, who's a cute little Frenchie named Zeke. She has two cute little Frenchies, Zeke and Louie. And Zeke was like, just he's a character, so he was just like cocking his head the whole time at me. And when I mentioned I didn't like Brazil, he goes, like, really? And I was like, oh, you like Brazil? Okay. My Own Private Idaho. It's okay. Um, I don't know. I think I expected more. I need to rewatch it. I think I was expecting more from it, and maybe because once again, a lot of this is maybe generation gap and different things, culture shock kind of stuff. But I just it wasn't. It just didn't do it for me necessarily the way I thought it was. I thought I was going to be like blown away by it, but I think it was okay. I mean, it's definitely up there. Like I'd probably give it 3.5 stars, but I didn't really like it didn't do what I think I thought. Like I think I had expectations. An amazing movie that I think, you know, not maybe not a lot of people talk about, but I mean even people are probably shocked this got a Criterion, was The New World, Terrence Malick's The New World. I live right down the street from Jamestown. They actually wanted to shoot down in Jamestown when they shot this movie. But unfortunately, and I actually went up to be an extra and did not get it. was that? I didn't look, I guess, colonial enough or whatever. They didn't think I had a colonial look, or whatever. Or plus, I probably didn't have like a resume that like was good. Nowadays I might be able to get an extra like that, but back then I didn't. Plus, I think they wanted people like beards and rugged people, and I just didn't have that. I never really had that. But anyway, they were shooting it down. They wanted to shoot down in Jamestown, but that would have meant that the Jamestown settlement would have to close their business down for like 4 months or whatever, and they were just like, nah, that's not happening. Another Terrence Malick movie, Tree of Life. I did this for Criterion Watch. I mean, I thought it was a pretty good, damn good movie. It had some really great visuals and is entertaining. It was a little long, and Terrence Malick is a little long. I am going to be watching The Thin Red Line tomorrow or soon, and that is a little long. It's funny that the Criterion collection has both the Thin Red Line and the Thin Blue Line. I'm waiting for the Thin Green Line, you know. Sorry, it's a really bad Criterion joke. Sorry. Next is The Player. If you're watching past whatever and you got to that joke, please tell me, did you laugh at all at it? Because it was stupid. It's terrible. But I thought it was kind of funny. Now, this movie had a slipcover, apparently, and I never got the slipcover, or maybe I did. I don't know. I don't think I did. But I'm gonna get the 4K of it soon with the slipcover, and that's Time Bandits. I may get it by the end of this thing. I'm not sure because I'm a little afraid. Like I don't want it to all be out and then have no slipcover. All right, so this is the last of the haul. Oy, those are just two of the things there, so I need one more. Okay. Whew. Next is, wait, did I mention before The Player? Player's a really good movie. We did this for Criterion Watch as well. I think I just skipped through that. So it's talking about Tree of Life and New World. The Player. If you haven't seen The Player, definitely see it. Time Bandits, fantastic. Great movie. Once again, if you haven't seen it, definitely watch it. Next is Jabberwocky, another Terry Gilliam movie. Not my favorite. Not my favorite. I definitely, it's like all the ones on Criterion that I've seen so far. I haven't seen Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, but I have a feeling I'd like that a lot more than Jabberwocky. Jabberwocky has moments, but all in all, I felt like it was just kind of meh, you know. It wasn't as good. Dazed and Confused, another movie of my generation that I really liked. Oh, sort of my generation. It's like the generation right before me. And so sometimes it kind of trickles over, It's got like Ben Affleck and Jason London and Joey Lauren Adams and all some of my favorite people who went on to do some amazing things like Chasing Amy and Jason London's been in the Dracula movies and things like that. I love all these people. Um, Next is Downhill Racer, a movie I do plan to do for Criterion during like when we do like a winter type thing at some point. Bottle Rocket, also another movie I want to do for Criterion Watch. Criterion Watch because I think I'm not really a big Wes Anderson fan, but that movie was like the less Wes Anderson than he's ever been. And then later he did Rushmore, and I think that's when he started to really kind of get that style. And this didn't even feel like his normal quirky, weird style. So I liked it a lot. Night of the Living Dead. So I bought this having never seen it, but knowing how impactful it was. I'd never seen it because I wasn't a zombie fan. I don't like zombies generally. But I've actually grown to like appreciate the zombie subgenre. I think for the longest time I was fighting it because I just didn't like it in the beginning. And I don't, you know, um, Paul, my co-host for Indie Film Cafe, always jokes about the fact that zombies or that the rug monster in Creeping Terror goes this slowly and people fall down and then get eaten. I'm like, and you like zombie movies like Night of the Living Dead? Those people are going like that. You know, they're not fast, like, and people are falling over or just, you know what I mean? Like, it's it's weird. So I don't know. I'm not a real big fan of that, but I am a real big. Well, no, I'm a big fan of the movie though. By the way, so I watched it and I thought, holy crap, they did a great job with this. It was set basically in one location, like one area, and it was done so freaking well. I was like, okay, as an independent filmmaker, I definitely respect it. So there you go. Next is Night of the Hunter, a movie I absolutely love. We did it for this season so far, and amazing. Another movie we've already covered, In a Lonely Place. Movie I absolutely adore. And another movie we covered this season, Citizen Kane on 4K. This is about the only 4K so far I've actually seen. So I'm excited to watch all the other 4Ks. Yeah, I tried watching some of Double Indemnity, and I'll get to that in the second video. So, The Seven Samurai. Um, this was the first movie we did for Indie Film Cafe, and I hadn't seen it. So I felt like that would be fun to do a movie I haven't seen that I know is like culturally, significant and everything. And so there you go. All right, the rest of these I can't really. It's gonna be a bitch to put these down, so I'm gonna put them down over here, and so I'm gonna do them like this. So next is Badlands. Really great movie. I know there's a movie called A Better Place, and it was very inspired, and you can tell by Badlands' like look and much of what Terrence Malick does. Vincent Pereira loved, and he had always recommended that, so I had to go check that out. So I Want to Hold Your Hand, which I watched this year, and I really loved. Can't find the fucking disc. I don't know where it went. It's around my room, so I'll have to get it. But I Want to Hold Your Hand. It's basically about these teenagers during the Beatle craze, and they are trying to meet the Beatles. And the beautiful thing is, you never really get to see the Beatles. You see like the back of their heads or whatever, which is not a spoiler. Trust me, it's not a spoiler. That's pretty much the whole movie. You'll see it. And that was the whole point, I think, was that they were being. I think they wanted to have the Beatles and they couldn't afford to have the Beatles, so they just were going to work it out. So they just had some people, and I guess got the permission to do this. If you watch that disc is amazing because it really goes into like detail of different things that happened in the um like there's a conversation with Bob Zemeckis, Bob Gale, and executive producer Steven Spielberg. And I mean it's like a 30-minute like featurette kind of interview, and they are asking some serious questions, getting some serious answers. Like it is really good. I don't know why this is in here because that's gotta go to the. I haven't seen that. Next is Local Hero. Um, a movie that Paul's favorite movie. I would have been on the Criterion Watch, but I was in LA when he was doing it, so he got Lenore to do it with him, and they talked about basically his favorite movie, and he loved it. So there you go. Next is Matewan, which I do remember having on Betamax. My parents don't ever remember having it on Betamax, and they don't ever remember watching it. But it's a fucking fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it, it's just really good. Now in that collection I was telling you about, there's only one movie I've seen of it, and I have it here. I did not realize I had it here. I thought it was still in the box set, but it's The Last Picture Show. Actually, there's another one, and I can't remember where it is right now, but I think it's in either in that collection or not. And so I'll talk about that after later. But the Last Picture Show is fantastic. Please check that out if you haven't seen it. And buy the set. I'll show it to you later. It's like the ABC set. It's fucking phenomenal. I got some great stuff. This movie itself even has like two audio commentaries, one with like featuring Bogdanovich and actor Sybil Shepherd, Randy Quaid. I've never heard Randy Quaid. I know nobody talks about him. He kind of had some kind of weird thing happen. Cloris Leachman and Frank Marshall, all in the same commentary. That just sounds amazing. I need to listen to that. And then yeah, some other stuff. So like a featurette, looking back, and picture this documentary is about the making of the film, and a discussion with filmmaker Peter Bogdanovich and Q&A. I mean, just amazing stuff. Anyway, I'm glad I didn't read all of the stuff that's on every one of these because that would just take forever. My Man Godfrey, a movie I watched this year. I actually watched it on YouTube. So I haven't watched it on Criterion, but it was fine. I still counted it because I think I might have seen some of it, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's definitely something I would definitely recommend. And last on this pile is Days of Heaven, another Terrence Malick movie. And then there's just one movie that I just watched literally about an hour ago, maybe less, or maybe more than an hour ago, 2 hours ago. Charade, with Cary Grant and Audrey Hepburn, and because I was always wondering, he's worked with a lot. Katharine Hepburn, um, he's worked with Grace Kelly. He's worked with some of the hottest women. Had he worked with Audrey Hepburn? And yes, this is the movie Charade where he's worked with it. This is the best Hitchcock movie that Hitchcock never made. That's what everybody calls it. And it really is truly that way because it is dark, funny, weird, crazy. I kind of want to do like a whole review of it sometime. I definitely going to put it on Criterion Watch because it's one of those movies I feel like people need to talk about. It's just a movie that just kind of goes from thing to thing, and then you're just like, what the fuck is happening? It's like if M. Night Shyamalan just completely went on this like thing where he was on like this loop of doing the same shit over and over, and you're just like, la, la. That's what that movie feels like. It's just like one twist after another twist after another twist. Ending has a twist. Everything has a twist. You get a twist. You get a twist. It's crazy. And I freaking loved it. I loved every twist. I was like the whole time I didn't see anything coming. Even the stuff that would probably smack me right in the face if I were really like trying to guess this stuff. So, well, that's it. That's my collection of movies that I have seen from my Criterion collection. That is a lot of movies, actually. I did not count, but that is a lot of movies. And yeah, two really big piles. And I'm happy, honestly, that I've seen this many, but I can't wait to show you what I haven't seen. It's actually less, so there's less that I haven't seen. So that's good. So it means it's got, you know, not as much to deal with, but I'm going to, and trust me, you can check my Letterboxd, the Blu-ray Hunter, Jonathan Moody, on Letterboxd, and I will try to leave the link below if I remember. And you guys can check that out because honestly, that's where you're going to find all of my reviews of all these movies after I watch them. I did one for Charade. I'm going to do one, and they're just little teeny tiny little blurbs. They're not even real reviews, but they're going to be for other stuff too, for my 4Ks, for my Kino Lorbers, for everything that I've watched. So any Blu-ray I've watched. If I watched it on television or something on streaming, I'm probably not going to put it there because this is going to be my Blu-ray. I did that before. And I'm not doing that again. I'm sort of keeping it just Blu-rays that I've seen. So there you go, physical media. Well, if you guys like physical media content, please remember to subscribe. And also click that notification bell to to check out more of my stuff and to know when my stuff gets released. If you like this, if you don't like this video, then I'm sorry. I don't know why you watched it all the way to here. Unless you just skip to the end. I don't know why you would even do that. So thank you guys for checking this out and hope you enjoyed it. Bye.